Soapbox? What a stupid name. Who'd call something that? Only a fucking moron. Hello and welcome to the Soapbox. I'm 2-Bit Jesus, where I sit on my imaginary soapbox, tell you what I think. First thing I want to say is that I'm changing the format of this little part of my channel. I want to make it a Q&A, and I want to put the power in your guys' hands to where this part of my channel goes. So you will ask the questions and I will answer them. And it will probably take me I have about 3 weeks worth of material already recorded and written out. So it'll probably be about 3 weeks before I start doing the Q&A. Moving on to today's subject matter is, who do you think is the greatest game company of all time? And for me, that's Nintendo. First reason, longevity. They've been around for over 100 years. They got into video games around the 70s, but hit their stride in the 80s. And for about the better part of 30 years, they've been coming out with consistent quality games, pushing gameplay, even pushing, the way games are played. Yes, they have their turds. They will come out with some subpar games, but all in all, though, they have a pretty good batting average when it comes to coming out with great games. Another reason is, even when they're not the top dog in the industry, let's say 64, GameCube, or even right now the Wii U, they're still a profitable company, still successful. You don't have to be number one to be successful, guys. You don't have to sell the most consoles. That's not a measure of success in the video game industry, if you ask me. I mean, it's great to sell that many, but just because you don't sell as many as Sony or Microsoft doesn't necessarily mean you're a failure. Last but not least is IP recognition, or brand recognition, Brand recognition is that I think Mario is the most famous video game character of all time. His only competition would be Namco Bandai's Pac-Man, but I think Mario surpassed him a couple of decades ago, in my opinion. Sonic came very close, but he fell short, and if you've seen him recently, he sadly isn't doing too well. Sony's peculiar. They will have an IP, an exclusive IP to their system, but then they either let it go third party, like, say, Crash Bandicoot, or they move on to the next thing. That clearly works for them. I think that's a good thing to do, is to keep, moving on and finding new stuff. So I don't really necessarily see them even in competition with, Nintendo's, in my opinion, title, or Mario's title, of most recognized video game character. Microsoft has the Master Chief, which clearly an iconic character, nowhere near Mario's level, in my opinion. Just my opinion, though. And let's not mention, Peach, Luigi, Toad, Zelda, Link, Donkey Kong, just the list goes on. They have so many iconic characters that are just totally ingrained in our pop culture consciousness. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I think Nintendo is the greatest video game company of all time. But please let me know in the comments, guys, who you think is the greatest game company of all time, and why you think that. And I look forward to seeing your comments and replying to them. Have a good night, guys.